Hello guys, today we are going to explain about occupational safety and health knowledge, or known as OSHA. Our main activity is pipeline opening and cleaning. So, before we going more further into this topic, I'm going to introduce me and my team members. My name is Arif Fahmi and my partner is SETK, and we are third year chemical engineering student in UTM. First of all, we need to know HIRAC, which is our main discussion for today. So, what is HIRAC? HIRAC can be broken down into three elements, which are HI, RA, and RC. HI stands for Hazard Identification. We need to identify items or materials which can be threat that may cause injury or harm to people. Next, RI stands for Risk Assessment. It is the ability to analyze the possibilities of a person getting harmed or injured when exposed to the hazards, and evaluate how low or high the damage would be. Last but not least, RC stands for Risk Control. It is an action taken to eliminate the risk or minimize the risk of the person exposed to the hazard. Next, we will talk about risk assessment. There are two major components in risk assessment, which are likelihood and severity. Likelihood is how often the event can occur, while severity is the level of seriousness of the damage. This level can be calculated using the formula likelihood times with the severity. There are three levels of risk, which are low, medium, and high. The range for low risk is between 1 to 4. The risk still can be accepted and no precaution needed. Next, for the medium risk, is scaled from 5 to 12, which need a well and plain precaution. Lastly, the high risk is between 15 to 25, where it needs precaution immediately. Moreover, we will talk about risk control. The risk can be controlled by following the hierarchy of control. The hierarchy of control is a step-by-step approach to eliminating risk, and it ranks risk controls from the highest level of protection to the lowest and least reliable protection. The most effective way is elimination, which it eliminates or removes the hazard, while the least effective way is by using a personal protective equipment, or known as PPE, to protect people from harm. Next, I will pass to Tanzika.
So, let's look into our first activity of pipeline opening and cleaning. Pressure testing is a test which is carried out after the installation of any pipeline before it is put into use. By doing this, the workers are able to investigate the various limits of the pipeline, which will test areas such as the reliability, maximum capacity, leaks, joint fittings, and pressure. However, pressure testing, like pneumatic tests, is a highly hazardous activity, and there are many examples of incidents that had already happened. Pneumatic testing is a risky process which can fail and cause serious personal injury, and even death is inherent. The likelihood for this hazard is 3, while the severity is 4. For its risk level, 3 times 4 is equal to 12, so this hazard is considered as medium. Hence, we need to take a few actions to reduce the risk in this activity. The workers should always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, always follow the applicable standard and best practice for a pneumatic test. Lastly, inspect all test equipment and tools, even if they are brand new. Next, one of the hazard identifications that we face when working in pipeline opening and cleaning is lifting heavy and suspended loops, such as pipeline and fittings. This activity is involved lifting and carrying loops, so the actual and potential hazards are related to lifting and manual handling. During lifting or moving objects, back injury is the most common injury when exerting too much force on your back. Therefore, we can use mechanical aids to reduce the risk for back injury. For the risk assessment, the likelihood is 5. It means that this hazard will happen at most of the time, and severity is 1, which can be considered as negligible injury. As a result, the risk level is considered as medium. What is the risk control we are going to apply? Firstly, make sure that your employees are trained and competent in everything they do, including manual handling. It's very important to teach them the proper use of mechanical apps before introducing manual handling as a control measure. Besides, try to reduce the need of lifting from floor level or above shoulder height. Anyways, remember that it's better to push rather than pull the loop. Also, we can make changes to the working area to reduce the distance traveled with the loop and the need for twisting or bending. The next hazard identification is operating heavy-duty machines such as excavators, forklifts, and trucks. During this activity, workers may face two different types of potential hazards, which are struck-by incidents and working at height. Hit by moving objects is known as struck-by incidents. Majority of injuries and fatalities on a construction site is ground personnel being struck by moving equipment. For its risk assessment, the likelihood is 3 and the severity is 4. The risk level we obtain is 12, which can be considered as medium risk. To avoid struck-by incidents, standard operating procedure is playing a vital role. The operators must be adequately trained and certified. Next, regularly inspect tools and equipment to make sure they are in proper working order and in safe condition. Lastly, use personal protective equipment to prevent being hit by falling or foreign objects. For examples, wear a hard hat, safety glasses, goggles, and face shield. For the second hazard, working at height. Working at height remains one of the biggest causes of fatalities and major injuries. The likelihood is 3, while the severity is 4, so the risk level is 12, which is also considered as medium. The risk control that we recommend is to ensure workers can get safely to and from where they work at height. Also, ensure equipment is suitable, strong enough for the job, maintain and check regularly. Lastly, have the right personal protective equipment like helmet as suitable footwear. The last activity we are going to discuss is pylite pigging, which is also known as pylite cleaning. Like any other industry equipment, pylites require maintenance to maintain optimal functionality. With exposure to both internal and external conditions, pylites can undergo corrosive damage, leading to contaminant buildup and structural damage. Regularly scheduled cleaning can be used to prolong the useful lifespan of pylites. There are two types of actual and potential hazards, which are chemical hazards and slippery workplace. For any pylite pigging operations, chemical hazards like pyrophoric dust and hydrogen sulfide can lead to an explosion that could eventually lead to injuries and fatality. The likelihood is 3, while the severity is 4, and the risk level is considered as medium. Besides, a great number of workers suffer from wounds at breakbone in the oil and gas pylite because of slippery workplace. For this hazard, the likelihood and severity are 3. Hence, the risk level is 9 and it considered as medium risk as well. In order to lower the risk of chemical hazards, every employee has a responsibility of managing their safety, and they can mitigate risk by using appropriate PPE while working with pylites. PPE can be especially important during pylite pigging, where both equipment and chemical dangers are present. Besides, provide supervision and training to ensure that safe work procedures are followed. Tell workers, including maintenance workers, what the hazards and risks are. To control slip and fall hazards at work, we can apply administrative control by making work procedures more secure, such as properly maintaining the workplace regularly and providing sites for wet flows. Next, workers, supervisors, and employers all must follow the safe work practice to reduce the risk of injury. For example, cleaning floors with appropriate solutions regularly. Lastly, wear proper footwear like rubber shoes to prevent slips and falls at workplace. In conclusion, we investigate and describe work-related accidents at pipeline opening and cleaning based on HIRAC process, which are hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. The HIRAC is very helpful to reduce the number of accidents occur in the workplace in the future by identifying the hazards and its solutions to prevent them. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and share to let more people know about what is HIRAC.